Now we can call the meeting to order. This is the meeting of June 11th, 2019 in the Council on Aging. I'd like to remind everybody that we are being recorded for future broadcast. The first thing on our agenda is the review of minutes. Did everyone have a chance to look over the minutes?
Thank you.
What's that noise, coffee?
Yes.
Yeah, it's a perfect. You can smell it. Oh, yeah, no, okay.
Do we have a motion to approve the minutes as presented?
I make a motion to approve the minutes.
I second.
Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
All right. I should have done this in the beginning. I have to say that Pat and Jen are excused. They have an excused absence. They did notify Patrice that they would not be able to attend for personal reasons. Next on the agenda is the stats for the May programs.
May was very successful. We had a lot of different programs. We had 434 participants.
Wow.
We've also had about 5 or 6 new people join us, and I believe that's solely based on the new newsletter that went out. It was brighter and it was more inviting, and people have commented greatly on that. So I think that we will continue to see some growth.
Nice. Upcoming director meeting.
I had the opportunity to go over to Sutton. She had invited, Michelle invited all of the directors from the area to go over and just do a little bit of networking and kind of see where all our senior centers were at. Everybody has a different kind of population. They're super into physical fitness. We're into physical fitness here, but we have a lot more art classes and, bigger programs and lunches and entertainment and such. So just kind of networking and sharing different ideas on, how we can all kind of let the seniors know what's going on in all the senior centers in case there's something that we don't have that somebody else would have. So it was really nice, and I think we're probably going to meet a few times a year, just to kind of go over
Good
what we're spending
networking.
our grant on and things like that. I attended a suicide among older adults prevention in Milford yesterday, sponsored by the Mass Council on Aging. Apparently this population is kind of going unnoticed because if you're 85 years old, most people are just thinking it's natural causes. And there has been some stats that show that, if you're not having an autopsy because you've died at home and you're older, that there's an increase among seniors. So we did some training, and we're gonna put together with Katie. Of course, Katie has a background in psych. And we're gonna put together just a protocol for here in case anybody calls or needs something, or if you pick up on something. That's what they're asking the senior centers to do. So I'm gonna do that. I'm going next week to Northbridge for grant training. We always meet with Emmett every year just to kind of see where we have a little bit more money, what we're gonna spend it on, what we can really spend it on, and at the end of the year, you're not kind of scrambling to say, oh, I could have done that program. I went over to the Representative McKenna meeting. It's a nice networking experience. And right now, they're just working on getting up the website and all of that and trying to link it to the different communities so it can be one big resource that everybody's connected to. So it's still in its infancy stage, but it's a nice networking experience. And that's pretty much it for the meetings.
Now, would it be Emmett that you would talk to in regards to any grants for a new senior center? That he would be, the knowledge.
Yep,
He would
he
have,
has-
because he's,
Yep. He came in quite a few years ago and toured because we were feeling like we're gonna outgrow the space.
Right.
And we've definitely outgrown the space as far as having a big enough kitchen if we're doing a meal. The closet space is a nightmare because we have boilers in most of our closets, so you can only put so many things in them. The issue with the ramp, people trying to get in and out of here is
Right.
really
Right.
tough. So we've lost quite a few seniors not being able to come in if they're on oxygen or in a wheelchair because it's so hard to get in now. So those issues have all been addressed. And he did come in and he toured it and, you know, moving forward, you know, I hope that someday there'll be some
Sort of grant.
philanthropist or a grant that will help
Or a
us
donor.
to grow, right, yep.
All right, the new sign.
So, because we changed our name to the Adult
Social.
Social Center, we have Dave did the murals, he's gonna do the new signs. So I should have them in maybe by the third week in June. And I've hired Brian, the contractor, to actually hang them. And so I'm gonna be using grant funds for that. I will be working today to reallocate some of the money from different accounts to go into another account to pay for the freezer and for the signs. And maybe I'm looking into getting a new conference table because it's on that side, it's all buckled up. And the legs, because we have to move it back and forth, have gotten kind of weak. And it's, you know, it's tremendously heavy, so when you're sliding it back and forth, the legs have gotten kind of loose. And I assume that it's something super original. I don't know if it's original to here or if they inherited it from somewhere else, but I would say it's probably 30 years old. So I'm gonna try, if I have enough funds, to be able to do that.
Good.
Yes.
The new newsletter.
So the new newsletter, so a lot of the senior centers, and I found out when I went over to Sutton, are now using this newsletters from LPI. They're the ones that publish all like the church bulletins and all of that. So for them to do it, you have to have more than a certain amount of seniors. We had discussed it with Pat a few years ago. We're gonna be mailing out to 2,000 seniors. So where our newsletter was so successful, we thought, okay, people are noticing it. Now let's make it a book. So they go out and they get all the advertisers to sponsor it, so the newsletter would be free for us, which in turn means that I'd be able to use more of the grant money, not paying for the newsletter, I'd just be paying for the postage. And at the end of the year, if there's any money left in this fund, and usually there is, they give it back to the senior center.
Wow.
So it's kind of a win-win. So I got the contracts last week and I've sent them up to the town administrator. He has reviewed them. I had a couple questions, the contracts were sent back. I assume that I'm gonna pick them up today all signed and send it over. They're gonna send out somebody to work here on a computer, like probably in the back, and teach me how to do all of the layout and give me the layout that they use, because we don't have it on our computer.
Okay.
And then they will link it to our website, our Facebook, every month, they automatically do that. And, you know, it's kinda nice, it's colorful, and it shows all the programs, and it'll be bi-monthly, there'll be a calendar with all the things that we do. So we're gonna still keep the artwork and put it on the front. And we had two things, this one was paper and this one was glossy. It's not gonna cost us really any more to do the glossy, and I just kinda think it was a little bit more something.
Oh,
Yeah. looks
You know what I mean?
too,
Yeah.
You can see that.
Yeah.
So,
I like the font is a
Yep.
little bigger.
yeah, they'll work with me and they'll pick anything, and it will be the same amount of pages, it's gonna be 8 pages. And that will host or 10 pages, I'm sorry, that will host the advertisers in between all of the things that are going on. And I think it's gonna be really nice, so all I'll have to do now is spend the money on the postage from the grant, which now I can send it out 6 times a year,
Yep.
as just opposed to the 2 times we were doing it, and then flyers during the summer.
Yep.
So, especially when it's gonna be, you know,
Are you changing the design
2,000 mailings.
every
season.
Okay.
And that's gonna be easy, sending it over to the last place, they can't, what do? They screened it in, they scanned it in, but it costs money every time they do the layout. For this, it won't.
Okay.
Everything that's in here every month, because Marty has done a snowflake and a leaf and,
Oh,
you know,
nice.
other
So
things.
I need to do 2 more.
So, but, when you get back in the fall,
Okay.
or if you're doodling over in Maine over the summer,
Trish, does that mean that we won't be working on the
nope,
newsletter
you'll still be
anymore?
doing the newsletter, because the newsletter is gonna come just like this, but you're still gonna have to tab it, and you're still gonna have to label it.
Labor.
And you're gonna be doing more now, because it'd be 6 times a year.
Oh, okay.
So, we're hoping to get our first one out in September, that's probably gonna be a stretch. We might have to go through October. If that's the case, I'll probably just send a quick one out in August, for August and September, if we have a lot of events in September. Or I'll just post everything everywhere, and we have our bulletin board, and, you know, our regular seniors are in here every day with the sign-up sheets, so. But yeah, I'm super excited about it, and I think it's gonna be a win-win, and gives money back to the senior center, and we don't have to do anything, they solicit all the sponsors. They
That's
do,
great.
they do all of it, so.
All the list, I was gonna ask.
And it's just a lot more modern, you know,
Yeah.
everybody else is using these too, and now we have enough people on our mailing to be able to do it, because you have to have, I think, 1,500.
Oh, yeah.
Yep.
Awesome.
Yep, so
Look at that.
we're excited.
Does Sutton use that?
Not yet.
No.
No, Northbridge is, this one is from, Auburn is, Northbridge is, I believe Uxbridge is, and I think that Mendon's probably gonna be going on board. A lot of them are, just like I said, you have to have the
Takes a
mailing.
while.
Yep, and they do everything, like I said, other than just being trained, and I have support services.
Mhm.
So the layout is gonna be a lot easier for me to work with too, because now I'm working in Word,
Yeah,
and it's very difficult.
yeah, it's
Um,
colorful too.
so-
Yes.
And, you know, they check it and everything, so it's a good,
Yeah.
Right.
it's a good review
Yeah.
process.
No kidding.
Yes.
People's attention, right.
Right.
It will draw more attention.
Yeah, definitely. Programs for June.
We had a coloring contest, the winners will be announced, posted probably this afternoon, tomorrow morning, they've been chosen. We did that last week. We had the middle school down for, lunch and games, they brought down pizza, they played games, it was such a nice group of kids, they really had a great time, and, all the seniors loved it. We also had the elementary school down, last week, and they came in with some cookies and brownies, and they played cards, and,
That was so much fun.
wasn't that cute? Yeah.
Oh, it was
Yeah.
so much fun.
Yeah.
I realized the kid that was with me
Yeah.
lives just up the street from me.
Yeah.
Because I asked him where he lived, and he said, North Street. And I said, oh, I do too. And I said, 59. He says, I live in 69. Come to find
Yeah.
out, I knew where he was living, you
Yep.
know. And
They
he was
were-
a cute kid.
Adorable. They were very
Yeah.
well behaved.
Yeah, it
Ron
was
and Ed
fun.
had the funnest table because they were playing war. So that table was the loudest one. They made pictures for the seniors and, you know, served cookies and brownies and played fish.
Yeah.
And they were really cute. So what they're going to try to do is, next year I said if you get a hold of me, because we had to really scramble to get in the high school breakfast, the middle school kids, the elementary school kids, it's like this is the time of the year where they're trying to get all their stuff finished up too. If I had more notice, that it would be good. So they're gonna try to come a couple of times a year.
Well, that'd be great.
So, and try to do it on a half a day because they came down at 3. So a lot of the seniors came back, you know, in the afternoon, which is kind of tough in our parking lot with the school. So, but it was really very nice and the kids were adorable, so. We also have, let's see, everything else this week's kind of quiet. I'm going to the grant training next week, and then we have a couple of Sunshine Club programs that Pam will talk about. And we have our police barbecue, this will be our second annual one, the police officers come down with the chief, and they cook barbecue food, and they hang out and they chat with all the seniors, and they each take a table, and then they kind of swap. So everybody gets to meet them, and it's a nice community event. It was very
Yeah.
successful last year, I
Yeah, it was a
anticipate
lot
it
of
will be the
fun.
same
Well
this
done,
year,
last
so, and it is a tremendous amount of fun.
And there's a lot, they bring a lot of food with them too.
They do.
It's not hot
Yeah.
dog and hamburger, they
Oh, no,
bring
they bring
everything.
All right, BBT luncheons.
So we went to BBT for the lunch, you were there,
Yep.
most of you were here, and it was lovely, it was a nice experience, everybody enjoyed it. I did send an email out to Matt, the director, chef over there, and said that we would like to try to do it on a monthly basis. Maybe not in December and January, you know, but in the fall, and then the early spring. And so I'm gonna be working with him in August to set up our exact time, it might be like the 3rd Wednesday of the month. And that way I can get it advertised in our newsletter. And they keep the price nice, it was $11, it included every 4-course meal. And everybody had more than enough, and the menu choice was nice, so they'll pick kind of a set menu and we'll be able to choose again what we would like. And so I think it was really a nice idea, everybody liked it and they asked for it again, so we will try it for the couple hours out and about, it's nice to be with the kids.
Oh, yeah.
And the kids need the
And they're
practice.
learning, you know, with a big group, that was good for them.
Yep, so it's kind of like intergenerational for us. So we will plan on doing that in September, they do go back to school in August, so he said sometime late September will probably be our first date.
Good.
So.
New program suggestions for the state grant.
So, every year when I am gonna be writing the grant, which will probably be in the next month, if they give it to us on time this year, I ask the seniors, is there anything that they would like? Maybe a program we don't have or that they would like to have, and we have a lot of younger seniors join us, so we did have some suggestions, line dancing was a suggestion. maybe some kind of a cooking demo or somebody coming in and showing how to cook for one and repurpose the, you know, the 2 pounds of hamburger that you buy, make maybe a few meals out of it, what's freezer friendly, those kind of things. So I have a sign up sheet out there. If there's anybody who would like to have any kind of a class or see something else at the senior center that the grant will be paying for, then I would be more than happy to write into the grant. I have to do a description, I have to prove that it's a something worthy, memory retention or physical fitness or something like that, so.
Jim was coming up with a few
Are we
good
gonna
ones,
have the
wasn't he?
fingernails
Skydiving.
again?
That's right.
Not this year.
Try something new.
No, I know.
Remember,
that.
Jim was coming up with a few good ones, when we had
Okay,
PBT
and,
skydiving and
Yes.
things like that.
Yes.
Yeah.
Jim's adventure.
Something challenging, challenge
Right.
yourself. I'll send him first.
So if anybody has any suggestions, or anybody would like to see anything down here, then I'm open to anything. And it's your senior center, I'm just in charge of writing the grant and getting the funding for it, so it's all about what you guys would
Are
like.
we gonna have the firemen doing the batteries? I mean, they did mine, but there was a list out there.
There's a list, yep, he's gonna be
Nobody's been
checking back.
called.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, he'll be checking back.
All right, we'll put a bills.
We just had our regular phone bill, on the regular budget, some WB Mason, some office supplies, and, a couple of things we needed, Lysol wipes and cleaning supplies. And then just Zumba and Tai Chi and yoga on the grant, that would be it. Next month, I would anticipate there'll be more because it's the end of the year, and that's typically when you take the rest of your funding, and that's when you repurpose it for something big that you've saved all year for, if you don't need it, something else, so.
All right, Sunshine Club news.
Okay, we have a couple programs coming up this week and next week. This week, we've got our informational meeting for the Portugal trip, that's tomorrow evening at 6:30. Colette Rep will come in, he'll do a PowerPoint showing the regions we're gonna be visiting and provide the information and answer any questions. And this has always been worthwhile doing when we've run our trips, this will be our 4th trip. And we've got some active interest out there. The following week, on Wednesday, the Sutton Ukulele Group is coming in to perform for us at 11 o'clock. And we'll follow that with a cold lunch. The program's free, the lunch is $5. And they're coming for free. They just want
Wow.
to get out there and practice. And one of our own seniors is a member of the group, so
Oh,
she'll
kidding.
be
Nice.
participating. On Thursday, a ranger from West Hill Dam is coming in to talk with us. They will be, I'm not know if it's a he or she, but the ranger will describe the programs over there that may be of interest to some of the seniors. Describe the programs, identify for us the level of difficulty of something is, so people can gauge for themselves if, you know, they're physically able to do something, but if we can get, I think we were looking to get some kind of an outing going on a regular basis. And if there's some programs that pique our interest, you know, we'll get some people to give it a try.
Yeah.
So they're gonna come in Thursday at 10:30 for that next week. And then in July is the big butterfly program we're gonna be.
Oh, that's the one up at the municipal.
Yeah, in conjunction with the
gym, yeah.
library at the gym. So we'll be working on advertising that and getting that set up. So that's it. And we're talking about Oktoberfest, that maybe hosting a Oktoberfest dinner the Friday before Oktoberfest here. Or the Sokol Club, maybe have a bigger place to spread out, get a few more people. And so that's in discussion about what's feasible, what's it gonna cost, and availability. So that's in the works. Keep you posted on that.
Any update on the boat?
The card boat race, we have a date. It is going to be, oh gosh, is it the 25th, the Thursday the 25th. The boat is gonna be tested next in the water, make sure it doesn't leak. So that's coming up. So
Who's gonna be in the boat?
Kathy Landers, Joanne Serrato, and myself.
You wearing a bathing suit?
Yes, they are. but we're not gonna sing, we're gonna win.
Yeah, right.
So we're gonna need the peanut gallery there, rooting us on. It's an evening event over at Nipmuc Lake. So when the specifics come out, time-wise and everything, we'll let you know. Joyce Gostowski said she was gonna make banners, so.
Yeah, she's very good at managing cards.
And this is really a family event because some of the races are geared for children, young adults, and then the seniors have their own competition, so.
It's gonna be fun.
So the boat's coming along.
I'm gonna see if we can get cable to, I don't know if they'll take a field trip out of town, Pat's really good at working.
There is a second boat being built right now, it's a work
They
in
have to wear
progress,
life
just in
jackets.
case there's a
They have
problem
to
with the
wear
first
life
boat.
jackets.
We have a second boat.
It's a lot.
They're in it to win it, for sure.
We're in it to win it.
Good, good. All right, other business, anybody have anything they wanna talk about, or? I know if Kent, you have any updates for anything? I know like
Can't think
they
of
talked
anything
about the
off
whole
the top.
battery thing.
I will have Joe touch base. I know he's gotta get out there and replace some of the batteries from some of the detectors that they sent out, or that they put in last year. And we do have some detectors that we got this year through the grant too, so if anybody needs one, we can try, or even more than one. And then, I've gotta reach out to the Red Cross. They have a situation where they'll replace detectors for free. I know we did that a couple of years ago.
Yes, and they came, and it couldn't have been at a better time, because I was getting ready to sell the house. And they did both floors,
Right.
everything. They put in the smoke detectors and the carbon monoxide
Yep.
detectors. And that was one thing I was gonna have to pay for before I
Because
could
they all
sell
have to
the
talk to
house.
each other now, yeah.
They did it for nothing, it was totally free.
Right.
It was wonderful.
And it's a good program, it's just it was so good that I think they got overwhelmed and sort
Sure.
of.
Well, they put in the combinations in now
Yeah.
too, of the carbon
Yeah.
monoxide, that's what they did me, cause mine were out, they were outdated, so they
Right.
put two of those in, and that was a big help, cause those were expensive.
And they're doing ones now that have a 10-year lithium, so you don't have to test the
That-
battery
those-
every month.
Yeah,
It's just
those are
when,
the ones they put in my house.
after 10 years, you just throw it away and replace it. They're just trying to make sure that people aren't pulling the batteries out or forgetting, so.
Yeah.
It's a little bit better technology, keeps people safer.
Oh, that's good. Very good.
I have just one thing, we're in the middle of our Lucky 5,000 contest. So sometime I would anticipate in July, whoever signs in and is the lucky 5,000 person through the door gets a prize. So we're excited. Our numbers have been really good this year, and so.
Kent will be walking in every hour.
Not to be a senior.
Well, what's a senior technically?
Right.
60,
Okay,
almost.
almost.
Yeah, but then why at 50 you get the AARP packet, right?
They want to prepare you.
Get you mentally adjusted.
I'll have you know I did not receive that. I think Sandy has, but I haven't. I'll throw something funny in this when she's doing the minutes, she'll be like, what?
Oh, yeah. Yep. All right, next meeting date.
I would probably say July and August, because some of us need to be away for the summer. And with vacations, I think it's gonna be very hard to get a quorum.
Yep.
So I would say that we move right through to September, if nobody has an issue with that. As always, if something happens, then
We
I
can
can
always
call
call a
it,
meeting.
call a
Yep.
meeting. All right.
There's a holiday in there too in September, right? What's that day?
There is, we have Labor Day is
That'll
on
be
the
the
second. We're going towards the second week. We have a welcome back party that day, but we can have a COA meeting in the morning, no problem.
Actually, that'd be good if it's a welcome back party.
Yep. We're going to have,
September 10th.
I am not sure if I'll be back by then or not.
Okay. What-
It's going to depend on who can get me back.
Right. Would you want us to move it up? We can go to the 17th.
well, yeah, we could, because actually Columbus Day. So we could do that. There'll be a lot of stuff going on in the fall. Why don't we do the 17th, just to be sure?
I should be back by then, definitely.
Okay. If not, we'll come in and get you.
Don't worry, Marty, we'll get you back.
Right?
So September 17th.
Yes.
At 9 AM.
We'll send out a reminder, of course, and get everybody back on the page.
I should, definitely should be.
I hope you're all better by then.
Oh, good God, let's hope I don't fall again.
You have to wear a
Oh, no.
harness.
God,
Did you wear one like that?
No, I.
We have a motion to close the meeting.
I make a motion
The
to
doctor
close
in the
the meeting.
urgency said to me,
The
don't
worst thing when I
stay
was in-
totally
Anybody want a second?
immobilized because of your shoulder.
Need the exercise.
You should have that knee chip.